Hey, what is going on, everyone? It's me, Mr. Mario. This right here is my dog, Lily. And what we're going to be doing is going over all the games that I beat this year in 2018. For anyone who does not know, this is a end-of-the-year video that I like to do annually, at least every year since 2016, I want to say. You see, what happened in 2016 was initially I was sometimes playing games a little bit more or a little bit less, and this is when I had just gotten out of college. And I was noticing I was beating, when I was playing stuff, I could beat like a game a month or 1 or 2 games a month. And a few months in, I said, you know what? I'm going to see if I can beat one game every single month, because I also wanted to keep track of it and kind of go through a review of everything I was talking about. So in this video, I'm going to talk about which games I beat every month and give my short thoughts on them, anywhere from 5 seconds to 5 minutes. It depends on how long the video is. I think this is the first one I actually have Lily in, and Lily, I'm gonna give you this pillow. She likes to rest her head on a pillow, so I'm gonna give you this pillow so everyone can see you wherever you're watching. And this is a very casual type of video as well too. I'm just doing this on the couch, going through the games right here. You can't see them, thankfully, but going through the games one by one. And admittedly, I'm gonna have my phone out here because some of them are digital, and on top of that, I also need to make sure that I know which month I beat which. So let's go ahead and get started here. So the first game I beat, which this is the only game I beat in January this year, was Grand Theft Auto Vice City. And I'm just now realizing this is actually inaccurate, unfortunately, because I beat this on the original Xbox. You see, near the end of last year, I started getting onto a original Xbox kick, where I was messing with them, modifying them, upgrading them, all that fun stuff. And I started this Grand Theft Auto kick when I decided, you know what, I'm gonna play my favorite game of all time, Grand Theft Auto 3. I'm just gonna try it. And within 3 nights, I end up beating the game from start to finish. Oh my goodness, that was fun. And I actually excluded that, unfortunately, from last year's games I beat every month. Because after I made the video, I ended up beating Grand Theft Auto 3 and Hidden Agenda. Which, Grand Theft Auto 3, my all-time favorite game, absolutely loved it. Hidden Agenda, slight hint here, I'm going to be talking about it in this video. So, if you don't get the hint, you'll get it later on. But after Grand Theft Auto 3, I started playing through Grand Theft Auto Vice City on the original Xbox, beat it, still very much enjoyed it. It's absolutely a great game, so that's one game down. Now in February, next game I finished, I was still on this Grand Theft Auto kick, was Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories. I have owned this game for years, and I actually did play it on the PS2, because I have it on the PSP and PS2. I actually did play through it on the PS2. Great game. Very much enjoyed it. Really had a blast playing through it all. And this led me to playing Grand Theft Auto Vice City Stories as well. A game, again, I've never finished and I've owned for years. And I can finish it, it's just I'm like 2/3 of the way through it. My PS2 is right there. My save on it is fine. I just need to actually go back and play through it. So maybe 2019 I'll finish Vice City Stories. But 2018, I end up finishing this. Very much enjoyed it. Finally happy to have it under the belt of games that I have finished. Sonic Forces on the Switch. I decided to pick this up, and this game is okay. It's certainly no Sonic Mania. In fact, I think it's kind of funny because, in case you all don't know, Sonic Mania initially came out, these came out the same year, I believe, in 2017. But Sonic Mania had come out, and that was supposed to be, a digital-only game, which now they've released physically all over, which makes me very happy. But they ended up releasing it digital-only. It was essentially Christian Whitehead, a ROM hacker, who is known for a bunch of Sonic ROM hacks and fan games, was brought on by Sega to officially make a Sonic game. And it was going to be a old-school style Sonic game, and it is just, perfect. It is amazing. I beat that last year, and I loved it so much. But that was $20. This was the $40 entry, the more official one, so to speak. And it's not that it's bad, it's just, it's okay. I think I finished it in 3 hours, and then I took the cartridge out and put it in the case here. Never felt like playing it again. The cartridge did get taken out again, though, because my younger brothers are really big Sonic fans, and they asked if they could if they could borrow it from me and play it. So they borrowed it from me. Within a day or two, they finished it. They put it back in the case. So they got it out of their system. They got to play. They got to. I'm trying to be the cool older brother here, but they got to mooch off me without paying for the game, which that's what older siblings are supposed to be for. So that's what happened with that. It's not that it's a bad game, it's just, it's okay. I'd recommend it at like 20 bucks, 15, 20 bucks. If you find it for that, you'll get 2 or 3 hours of enjoyment out of it, especially if you enjoy Sonic games. So that's what I beat in February, and let's see. Now we're going on to March. In March, I'll sometimes do this, alright? Admittedly, I'll pick a filler game, which the filler game for March was Tekken 2 on the original PlayStation. Now, what do I mean by a filler game? Sometimes I'll just get to near the end of the month, or I'll realize that month I'll be super busy, so I just have to find something that I could finish in a few hours, just knock out in like 2 or 3 hours. And Tekken 2 is a solution to that. Last year, for one of my months, I used Tekken. This year, I felt like it would be fitting for Tekken 2. Maybe next year, I'll use Tekken 3 as a filler, so I'll just be beating a Tekken game every single year. But by beating it, I mean I go through the arcade mode, I unlock all the characters, I beat it with every single character, I get all the endings, all that fun stuff. Tekken 2 is fun. I wished I was playing Tekken 3 when I was playing it, but, you know, it's certainly better than the first Tekken, so don't sleep on it. It's a good game. Absolutely fun. In April, I had to pick another filler game because I was really busy in April as well, too. I don't have this because, unfortunately, I had to borrow it from someone, so I guess I'm just going to use a placeholder here. Pretend this is the game. I end up playing through Einhander. I believe that's how you say it, or Einhanda, on the original PlayStation. Super fun game, super awesome shmup. It's challenging, but it's really fun. I'd recommend playing through it if you get the opportunity to do so. I love those Squaresoft games. I'm saying Squaresoft, not Square Enix. But I love those Square Enix PS1 games, man. They're great. Lily, can you, like, show everyone your face, please? Or not. I just want you all to see her, alright? That's all I want. That's all I want. Lily, this is why the pillow's here for you. This is why the pillow's here for you. Okay. There we go. So now, in May, I only finished one game there as well, too. But, this is the one I hinted at before. Hidden Agenda. Now, I had already played through this game the previous year, and I think we even played through it twice, we as in my girlfriend and myself. But she asked at one point, she's like, hey, you want to play through Hidden Agenda again? And I said, hell yeah, I want to. This game is really cool. If you have a PS4, I highly recommend you pick it up. It can be had for like as low as $5 brand new. I've seen it sold digitally, I've seen it sold physically as well. This game initially retailed for $20. I think I picked it up for 10 or 11 bucks retail. And the cool thing about this is you don't play it with a controller. What happens is you have to pop the game into your system, and then you all have to download an app onto a smart device such as a smartphone or a tablet of some kind. And then you sign in on there. Do you make an account? I don't remember if you have to make a PlayStation Network. No, you don't have to make a PlayStation Network account, thankfully. But what you do is you have to get onto the same network as your PS4, and then you connect to the game. So you open up a game on your PS4 for this, like a lobby, so to speak, and then you all join in, and it can be played up to 6 players. And then everyone plays with their phones. So that way you're kind of, when you're searching for clues, you can like touch the touch screen on your phone. Why am I doing that? I can just use my phone. You can like touch the touch screen on your phone in order to find those clues. You can read through hints and all that stuff. You can make decisions on your phone. So it's perfect because, see, my girlfriend is not a gamer. She likes games. It's odd saying that. She likes games, she likes watching them, but she doesn't play them aside from, like, you know, just silly mobile games. That's really all she rocks with. So, as we've been dating for a while now, she's gotten to, you know, kind of delve more and more into gaming, which has been cool. But she's absolutely loved this. I love playing it as well. I need to play through this with a full party of 6 people, because I've only played it with her, unfortunately. Fortunately, I mean, it's been nice, but it's a great game to play with multiple people, because then at that point you have, you know, I'm sure you'll have disagreements, people fighting, and a lot more, you know, tug of war when making decisions, which is awesome to see. I did let a friend borrow this, and he very much enjoyed it, and I think he got a full party of people. But if you do pick it up, you can finish it within an hour and a half, 2 hours. So I would recommend picking it up, playing it for next time you have a group of friends come over. Just kind of run the idea by them. Be all like, hey, as opposed to watching a movie, do you want to play this game that's going to be more fun and more engaging, and it's going to take us about as long to finish as watching a movie? That's how you can market it to them if you're ever having any trouble with that. Now in June, I think this was the month where I went hard the most on here, and my girlfriend and I played through all these games together. And when I say playthrough, it's more I was playing them, she was making the decisions. The first game we finished was Detroit Become Human. This game is fantastic. I had waited so long for a Quantic Dream game. In fact, I said years ago when before I owned a PS4, I said, you know what? I'm going to pick up a PS4 when either one of two things happens. Either one, the system's hacked, or two, a Quantic Dream game comes out. And it wasn't just limited to that. I said if I don't get a PS4 at that point, one of those two events is going to happen. Well, I ended up breaking that because I got a PS4 a few months after it launched, and then it did get hacked up multiple times before this came out. But oh my goodness, I love the Quantic Dream games. And this was fantastic to play through. This is probably the best one. I don't think it's my favorite, but it's the best Quantic Dream game I have played through. It looked astounding. And I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't played through it, but there is one decision that I made on here, which everyone I've told about kind of hates me for about 3 seconds. And I'll just say, I'm trying to shroud this in mystery here without spoiling it, because I'm sure there's people watching this who do want to play this who haven't played it yet. And I'll just say that this was a machine, and it could have been replicated, alright? And to anybody who's played through the game, you probably understand what I'm talking about, and you understand the decision I made at that point. For anyone who hasn't played the game, you have no idea what I'm talking about. But for the people who have played the game, you probably are all hating me a little bit. Nobody's agreed with my decision that I made on here. The other thing, too, is that this game really tries to get in your head. So we were playing this until like midnight or 1 in the morning every single night. And then I remember the second night we fired it up, the AI that's talking to you at the beginning, she's just like, did you sleep well? Are you okay? I noticed that you were up late last night playing it. I'm just like, no. You are not doing some Psycho Mantis shit on me. That is cool, Metal Gear Solid. You're not doing it here. It was still cool at the same time, though, admittedly. But yeah, this is one of my favorite games I played this year. Absolutely one of my favorite games. The next game I played was actually 2 games. I need to see which order I played them in. But then I beat Beyond Two Souls. Now, I only beat this game 1 time. I beat it on the PS3 years ago. Absolutely loved it. Shit made me cry. And I played through Heavy Rain on the PS3 and the PS4. Absolutely love this game. But Beyond Two Souls, I had not played since 2013, I want to say? That sounds about right. I hadn't played it since 2013. That sounds about right. Let me even check to see when this was. Yeah, okay, cool. So what ended up happening was, you know, we had played through, because my girlfriend and I, we've played through all these games where, you know, you make decisions and all that stuff, and I was introducing her to these storybook style games, I guess you can say, or interactive movie games. That's what I like to call them. So she was asking, like, hey, are there any other games like this? This was really cool. Is there anything else like this? I was like, absolutely. And they're on the same system. So we ended up playing through Beyond Two Souls. I still very much enjoyed it. I ended up getting different endings than when I got it when I played by myself, which was great to see as well. One thing I didn't like about this, though, was that it's actually 2 players. You see, in the game, you control a human, Jodie is her character name, and you control a ghost that's attached to her named Aiden. And if you have a second player, you can actually play as the ghost, which is a really cool feature. And honestly, looking back in hindsight, we should have just used a controller for my girlfriend, which she's capable of doing. I found that out. But what ended up happening was there is an app. No one knows about this, but there is an app for Beyond Two Souls where you can use your smartphone as an actual controller. So you can actually move around the ghost and do all these actions and all that. The problem is, I'm telling you, it is impossible to play the game from start to finish using Aiden as a ghost on a smartphone. I don't know if it wasn't play tested or what, but playing with Aiden using a controller is just fine. And I know this because there's some sections you need to play as him, and I mean, in the game single player you have to do it at points, but there'd be times where she could literally not do it, and I thought maybe it was a disconnect issue, maybe it was a lag issue, so I tried it on her phone, couldn't do it. I would back out of the game, go into single player, play through that section just fine, single player, then we would back out, go in with the controller and the app, and it was okay. But there's like 2 or 3 sections in the game that are literally impossible to play through 100% start to finish if you are using if you're using the smartphone app for Aiden. I don't think that's ever going to get patched. I don't think that's ever going to be addressed. But I did find that disappointing, admittedly, because it was something that should have been play tested and it wasn't. So, Beyond Two Souls, still a great game. At least to me. I'm one of the few people, it seems like, that enjoyed it. Next up was Heavy Rain. Heavy Rain is really important to me. 1, because it is the first Quantic Dream game I ever played, and 2, if you know me, you know that I don't like the PS3, and this shit made me get a PS3. Because I had tried it at a friend's house, I tried the demo, I thought it was incredible, and at the time, I kind of wanted a Blu-ray player, media player, and Heavy Rain was just so dope. I was like, you know what? How about we get a machine that plays Heavy Rain, Blu-rays, and random assortments of media? What machine does that? The PS3. So that's how I ended up going in half with my dad to get a PS3. He paid for half it, I paid for the other half, and we got it. It worked out well enough. But yeah, Heavy Rain is what made me get a PS3. Absolutely love this game. I've played it once on PS3. I platinumed it on PS4. I played through the whole thing multiple times, and it was, oh my god, that was emotionally draining. So this time around, I just played using my girlfriend's decisions, and she actually came to the exact same decisions and endings and all that. Not same decisions, but she got the same endings that I got when I initially played through the game, and when I just try and be a good person playing through it. But I highly recommend playing these, and you might be noticing the Peggy 18 logo here on this. This is because, initially, you could only import these physically. One thing that's disappointing about Heavy Rain, unfortunately, is that there's some DLC that came out. I heard it wasn't very good, but the PS4 version is gimped, technically, because the PS4 version does not have any DLC, and the PS4 version does not have PlayStation Move functionality, both of which are things the PS3 counterpart did get. So while this one is technically better, you're missing more content, which is a bit disappointing. But either way, Peggy logo, because I had to import this game, because at the time, it was only available physically in Europe, but now, you can actually get all of these games in the US, like there's ESRB version, NTSCU version, you can get all these things in one go, and I think it's called like the Quantic Dream Collection, something like that. I highly recommend picking that up if you have a PS4 and you're interested in the Quantic Dream games. All of them are fantastic, and that way you can get them all in one go, and physically. You can get these digitally as well too, but I'm a physical collector, as you can tell. So yeah, end up playing through that. Then we started looking at other games that were like this. So, end up playing through Life is Strange on the PS4. Now I played through this as it was all coming out. Lily, put your face up here. What are you doing? Lily. There we go. Okay. She likes to have something to rest her head on for the most part. But yeah, I ended up playing through this game here on the PC, and I was playing the chapters as they were coming out, and man, I got really invested into this. Lily, take the pillow. I got really invested into this while I was playing it. Absolutely enjoyed it. I will say, if you're playing through it and it's just a little too cringy for you, the first act is rough. The first chapter isn't really the best. The second chapter, it doesn't really start picking up until chapter 3, out of 5 chapters. So I still have yet to purchase Life is Strange 2. I still have yet to play through any of those. I'm kind of waiting for all to come out, or right until like 5. Okay, I want a physical build of this to come out, alright? If it physically comes out, I will buy it. But yeah, Life is Strange. She thoroughly enjoyed this game. I really enjoyed it, playing through it again on the PS4, so this time I got to get trophies. I recommend checking it out. One thing that's a little disappointing, though, and I guess I don't think this one was ever patched. Lily just... Okay, fine. I don't think this one was ever patched, because I think it's just the 1.0 patches on PS4, but the prequel to it, Life is Strange Before the Storm, it actually is playable in 60 frames a second, and it plays very nicely on that. So Life is Strange is absolutely capable of doing that, but it was just never patched, and the game is so old now, there'd be no reason to do it. I'm playing on PS4 Pro, by the way, so, I mean, yeah, I'm sure it looks better on PS4 Pro, and I'm sure it loads faster, but there's no reason to issue a patch for a game this old, especially when they've patched Life is Strange Before the Storm to work well enough, and Life is Strange 2, I'm sure, works fine on there. So, that was a little disappointing, but Oh well, that's just me. Life is Strange, definitely recommend it. So, because I was talking about Before the Storm, you all can probably tell that the next game I finished, which this was the last game for, which month was it? June, was Life is Strange Before the Storm. This one I'd never played through, and you all might also be noticing that this one is still sealed as well. I kept this one sealed because this is the limited edition that includes, you know, the game and additional content, and I actually ended up getting this digitally before I bought the physical version. I got the digital version, it was on sale for like $5. And then I had Amazon, it was on sale for $5 for PS4 on Amazon. But then I also had a lot of Amazon digital credit, so I got the game for free. So I was like, you know what, if I have the game digitally on here for free, I don't really need to pick up the physical, like I got this for collectability's sake, but I don't need to open it, at least at this point in time, until I actually want to mess around with all the extras and everything. This game was really good. I very much enjoyed it, even though it was not by the original development team from what I understand. So technically, the stuff in here is not canon, if I understand that correctly. Technically, this is not canon, but I still thought it was great. And they even went as far as to create a bonus chapter, because there's like 5 chapters in the game as well. And they created a bonus chapter where it is Max and Chloe when they're kids. I have to say that because I don't want to spoil anything, but it's Max and Chloe when they're kids. You get to play through that, and that was also a really awesome bonus chapter to play through as well. So I was expecting like a major drop in quality when I played through this one. No, I really enjoyed it. I will say though, you finally get to, you know, actually talk to and interact with Rachel Amber on here, who is missing in this game. If you play them, you'll understand. I do not like Rachel. I do not like Rachel. There's even, at one point in one of the chapters, I just yelled at something she did. I don't like her as a character and as a person. So, yeah. That's just me, though. I still recommend playing through this. And yeah, I need to play through Life is Strange 2 at one point. I'm just waiting on a physical copy, because as you can see, I have 2 physical games out of the 3 that are out right now. So, we'll just wait for that. We'll just wait. It's all good. Let's see. July. I don't have the games right here because they were all digital. So the first game we played through, which we were still going through these, I started introducing my girlfriend to the Telltale games. And the first one we played through was Life is Strange, not Life is Strange, damn. The Walking Dead Season 1. I would tell you all, I forgot how good that game was. And I've played through it twice. I played through it on 360, played through it on Xbox One, but 360 was a long time ago when I played through it. And the Xbox One, I kind of just rushed through it when I was playing through it, and I played them out of order as well too. But no, this game I completely forgot about how just truly excellent it was. And even when it came to, I noticed one thing that was kind of funny when it came to the performance, because it's no secret, the Telltale games suck when it comes to performance. They perform so poorly. But I noticed that The Walking Dead Season 1 is one of the best performing current generation Telltale games out there. Like, it performs quite well on Xbox One until about halfway through. Around Episode 3, Episode 4, you can tell that the performance quality starts to dip. And there's even one glitch in there, which this is really annoying, and you'll only notice the glitch. I guess you'll only figure out it's a glitch if you have played through it successfully before. At one point, you're in a school, and there is a cutscene that's supposed to play, and I actually had to watch my own video on this because I have a video covering how to fix this on my second channel, and I had to look it up and watch that video to figure out what to do. But there's one part when you're in the school there, you need to do something that is going to generate a cutscene, and you cannot progress the game until you get through that cutscene. But if you end up bypassing that, it glitches the game out, but there's a cutscene which makes sense that plays through it. And I don't know if that was just left in there and it was forgotten to be taken out or what, but it doesn't seem like anything's wrong until you start walking around and you realize that you cannot do anything. Like, there's nothing you can do. So what you have to do is you have to reload your checkpoint and pray it to whatever higher power you believe in or whatever entity that it will work. And if it doesn't work, you have to reload it again. If reloading your save doesn't work, you have to just restart that portion of the chapter. But yeah, it's good, but it's just I hate the performance on Telltale games. But I forgot how much I enjoyed that one. The next game I ended up playing through was Night in the Woods. I actually ended up picking this up because Kinsey or Kinzilla was on a video on Metal Jesus Rock's channel. There, I had to say that properly. And she recommended Night in the Woods on the Switch. And just the aesthetic, what everything was talked about on there, it seemed like right up my alley. It seemed like something that I wanted to play at that point in time. And I'm really happy I did. It was an incredible game. Very much enjoyed it. I do want to play through it again, and I'm hoping that a physical copy of it will come out so I can buy it, add it to my physical collection, and have a somewhat decent reason to play through it again. Essentially, what I can tell you is, I'll tell you what they said in their video. You are May, I guess that's how you say her name. You are May, you are a cat who you just dropped out of college and you came back home to your family to live with them. And you kind of have to deal with the trials and tribulations of, you have friends who've moved away, there's people who have passed away, there's a lot of things that have changed in your town, and just kind of that feeling of growing up and kind of, you're growing up, but you don't feel like you're growing up at the same level as everyone else, so you kind of see yourself as a little bit of a failure, and then you're kind of coming to terms with life right now, life as it is, what's going to come of it, and kind of realizing that the life that you had in this town that you loved a year or two ago is not going to be the same. I maybe went into a little more detail than they did, but the other thing is too, there is some type of event that has branded a reputation onto you, and nobody wants to talk about it. So there's something weird going on in the town, and there's all this life stuff, and it sounded like something that was just perfect for what I wanted to play at that moment in time. And it was great. I cannot recommend it enough. So definitely recommend picking that up, but I'm really hoping they release a physical edition of some kind. The next game I ended up playing that month was The Walking Dead Season 2. I played this on the Xbox One as well. The performance was worse on there. And this was an awesome game. Really enjoyed playing through that again as well too. It's not as good as the first one, but still good. And I think that's kind of just the overall synopsis of Season 2. It's good. Not as good as the first one, but it's still pretty good. So now we're going into... Oh, excuse me, no. I only played Walking Dead and Night in the Woods in July. In August, I played Walking Dead Season 2. And then in September, now we're going back to the physical games here. I end up finally finishing South Park, The Fractured But Whole. This took me a while to finish for a few reasons. One, I picked it up on PS4 initially, and I only got a few hours in and kind of just stopped playing it. I kind of just lost interest in the PS4, and I was mainly playing on Switch. So I was really happy that it came out on Switch. But it came out and it had game-breaking bugs, so I immediately returned it. And also at the time, I was RMAing my Switch one of many times. So I picked it up while I didn't have my Switch, but then it was busted, so I returned it. And then at one point after I got my Switch, they ended up issuing a patch which fixed the game-breaking bugs. And the sad thing is, it essentially would put you into kind of a boot loop, so to speak, where it was kind of just an infinite loading sequence on one of the best missions in the game, in my opinion. So even though it was a side mission, it's like, no, that's unacceptable to have this, but also it's unacceptable to have it on one of the best missions and funniest missions in the game. So that's what happened. I was a little bit salty about that, but I think there's some justification to that as well, too. On top of that, while playing through it, I also had to RMA my Switch again. So it took a while to play through this game, but I finally did, and it was so fun. I don't think... The story was very much enjoyable. For some reason, I felt like the writing was better in The Stick of Truth, and I felt like that was just a game where I was laughing out loud at so much more. I actually cried playing that game because I was laughing so hard at a few points. That's the only game that's ever made me cry from laughing so hard, The Stick of Truth. And I kind of want to play through that on the Switch because I think it's out. But I'm also kind of hoping they'll release a physical version of it. That's why I'm trying to hold off digitally. Plus, I've played it like 1.5 times as well, too. Either way, though, talking about this, Lily, fine, just be like that. Either way, kind of discussing this here, or ending this, whatever it is. Very much enjoyed it. I think my ideal playthrough for the Stick of Truth, because the combat is so much better in here. I would love it if they kind of remastered the Stick of Truth to be that same game, but with the combat of The Fractured But Whole. But they're not going to do that because they've already released it on last generation systems and they re-released it on current gen systems. But if you're a South Park fan, absolutely play through both games. They're so good. They're so good. Alright. Next up, I end up beating 2 games in October. First of all, I end up playing through the original Halo on the Master Chief Collection. You see, I end up getting a Xbox One X this year, and I was waiting for a few things. First of all, I got a good deal on it. I ended up paying $360 for the Xbox One brand new with a additional controller. So I thought that was a pretty solid deal, and all of it was new. But also, a lot of Xbox 360, Xbox original games end up upscaling, and not even upscaling, they just get even low-key remastered. They just play at high resolutions and all that natively, which is really cool on the Xbox One X, which is really awesome to see. But then this game ended up getting the patch. And what is the patch I'm talking about? There were so many things that were broken with this game that I believe Frankie from the 343 Halo community had made a post about this. And in short, there were so many things they cut corners on, that they assumed, and things that weren't even possible with the Xbox Live infrastructure at the time of this release that were possible now in 2018 that they weren't able to do. So they were finally able to issue a fixed version of the game in 2018, which was fantastic to see. And since they were doing that, they said, you know what, we might as well fix the game, we might as well optimize it, and we might as well just put in the 4K textures, just do it all in one. And my goodness, you all, the original Halo felt and looked like a brand new game. It felt like a game that I had never played before. It was absolutely astounding. It was beautiful, and it was insane to see because it runs on 2 engines where if you hit the back button, you're able to see the original game graphics, and if you hit it again, you can see the new game graphics. It is absolutely insane to see how the original looked and then how the new one looked. Because you get a lot of stuff like, wow, this game looks so beautiful, this is so bright, and there's stuff everywhere, and there's just everything shimmering, and then you hit the back one, it's like, wow, that building is actually just kind of like a gray, dry slab of old something or another that I made in an art class. So yeah, it was really cool to play through that. I started playing Halo 2. I didn't finish it. I only just started. But Halo 1, playing through it was great. And I wanted to play through something. Just something that would really be justified for the Xbox One X. And I felt like this was finally a good reason to. So all my reasons for wanting a One X, I finally have one. I still don't really use it that much because I just don't like the Xbox One. But this is awesome. This is awesome. I'm telling you, if you're a Halo fan, oh my goodness, you have to play them on the One X. They're so awesome. The next game I ended up playing through twice, technically, was Undertale. Now, I have played through this on PC, and I've got it on PC, on PS4, Vita, and Switch. But right now, my preferred system to play games on is the Switch. And I have to say, one, I had no idea there was such a hate for this game. And it's not so much that the game is hated, it's just people hate on the game because they hate the fan base. And I've been so detached from the fan base that I don't know why people don't like it. So, this is one of those times I've truly separated, not the art from the artist, but I've separated the art from the fan base, and I'm really happy I did, because I feel like just with the hate this game gets, because people have something against the fan base, which I don't really know why, admittedly, I feel like if I knew why, I might agree with people, and my respect for this game would go down quite a bit, so I kind of just want to stay in willful ignorance of that. But I played through this on Switch, and I finally got the true pacifist ending. You see, when I played it on PC before, I did a neutral ending accidentally, and then I did a neutral pacifist. And what this means is a neutral ending is, just try not to spoil anything here. A neutral ending, you go and you kill a few people, do some good stuff, do some bad stuff, whatever. If you kill anyone in the game, you get a neutral ending, just point blank. If you go through and kill everything, or mostly everything, and just do bad shit, you get a genocide run. Now, the true pacifist run is the true ending to the game, but you technically have to beat the game twice. What you need to do is you need to beat the entire game as a pacifist. So you do good stuff, you're on a positive upswing, and you're not killing anybody in the game. And then when you get to the end, you do beat the game, but then it says like, hey, you know there's a few other things you can do. You might want to do those. And then you go back and do those, and I don't know why I never did it, because when you get the neutral pacifist run, that's what it's called, you just need to do like another hour of work and backtracking to then start to unlock the final stretch of the game to get the true pacifist ending. So the true pacifist ending was, oh man, it was awesome. It was emotional. It was beautiful. It was awesome, man. I recommend it. I absolutely recommend this game. Please just try and detach your thoughts of the game from the fan base if it's been permeated, please, because the game is so good. The game is truly good. I loved it. I loved playing through it, and I'm happy now. Maybe the next one I'll do at one point is a genocide run, but I'm good for now. Oh man. So those are the games I beat in October. Next up, I beat a few games in November. First one was God of War. I finally ended up beating this game, and I wanted to finish this because Red Dead Redemption 2 was right about to come out. And spoiler alert, I did not finish Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm not even anywhere close to finishing that. But I wanted to finish this so I could allow myself to play Red Dead Redemption, and I was, I would say 2/3 the way done with it at this point. My god, this game, to me, this game is perfect. I absolutely loved every single aspect of this game. If you have a PS4, you're doing yourself a disservice if you do not play this game. It looked beautiful, and I was playing it on PS4 Pro as well, and there's essentially two options that you can pick. You can pick a performance mode, which samples the game, or I guess it renders everything at 1080p, and you have an unlocked frame rate, but I wasn't digging that too much. So I actually played this game at native 4K, because the other one is cinematic mode, where you play at a 4K 30 frames a second. And oh my goodness, I think this was my first like true 4K experience that I really got a chance to play through. I mean, yeah, I did play through Halo on here, but I technically started God of War on PS4 before I started Halo on Xbox One X. So I got to see this first, and oh my god, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Definitely play through it. Pick it up. This can be had now for like 20 or 30 bucks. You need to play this game if you don't have a PS4. You need to play it. It's so good. The next game we end up playing, and I say we, and all my games end up falling. Fantastic. Let me kind of just stack these back up, stack up my game stack. This game, A Way Out, I actually ended up going to a friend's video game store, and I picked up a few games when I was there. And it was cool because my girlfriend was kind of browsing the PS4 section, and she's like, oh, that game looks interesting. And I was like, A Way Out? Oh yeah, I've heard really good things about this. One of the guys, shout out to Mark in my Discord, he played through it like immediately when it came out and said, he's just like, yo, this is my game of the year right now. This game is awesome. And this game has a lot of good things going for it, which I'll get into here a little bit. But mind you, so my girlfriend sees this, she's like, oh, that game looks interesting. I was like, oh yeah, I've heard about it. And I would just kind of simulate our conversation. She's like, oh, you have? Yeah, no, it's supposed to be, a co-op type game, and it's supposed to be split screen where you're trying to break out of a prison, all that stuff. It's gotten really high reviews. Somebody I know actually said that it was his game of the year. She's kind of like, oh, well, do you want to play it? And I was like, well, hold on. The problem is you have to play it 2-player. So you would have to play it as well. And she's like, oh, okay. And I told her, like, hey, look, if you promise that you will play it with me, I will get the game right now. And she's like, yeah, let's do it. So I just picked it up off the shelf. I was like, awesome, this is the best reason to pick it up. So we end up playing through it, and this is now, I believe it's now her, like, officially her first actual video game that she played through start to finish. And she's one of those people, like, she's still, new to the controller and all that, and I've kind of had to realize, too, that video games are not easy for someone who just is a complete newcomer. So, yeah, they do hold your hand a little bit more, but, like, her issue is she can walk, but she can't look around. She can look around, but she can't walk. Like, she doesn't do both at the same time. She could do one or the other, but not both. So when it came down to it, a lot of the puzzles and such, we were talking, telling each other what to do. She was able to work through those just fine. When it came to controlling characters, she was surprisingly good at that. When it came to some firefights, which get to near the end of the game, it gets very action heavy. She was kind of just hanging back while I was going in and killing everything. The part that really screwed us over was at the end. Like, the last hour of the game, we spent like 45 minutes on this part because you have to drive, and like one of your characters is driving this Jeep and the other one has to shoot, and my character was shooting and her character was driving, and she could not drive this Jeep properly. She kept crashing it, she kept taking it off course, she just could not do it. And to her, just driving in the game was extremely difficult. We finally got through that, thank goodness, and then afterwards it was easy enough. But this is an awesome game. If you have someone that you can play this with, pick it up. And the cool thing is about this too, it is a EA game, but it's one of these EA originals, which I guess is a new thing. Joseph Fares, I love his announcement for this at the Game Awards. He came out at the Game Awards 2017. He acted very drunk there. He said he said his reason for it was he was excited and he was jet lagged, which I guess could do that. But either way, his performance at the Video Game Awards 2017, I'm sure, is what sold this game to so many people.
Okay, can you swear here? Can you swear? Okay. Fuck the Oscars, you know? Fuck the Oscars! Fuck you! I'll tell you! This is bullshit. Look.
But on top of it, it's a fantastic deal as well, too. Check this out. It says even right here, friends join online co-op for free. Find out more inside. The cool thing about this is, one of you has to buy the game. So let's say you're dead ass broke, but you have a best friend who's got some good money and they want to play a way out with you. If you all have the same platform of choice, PC, PS4, or Xbox One, if one of you buys the game, the other one of you can download it, and then you can join in session with someone who owns the game. So as long as one person owns it, either locally or online, two people can play through it, because it is required to play this game with two people. And I think that's great. And on top of that, it retailed for $30. So at that point, the game is half off, but then the fact that you're forced to play co-op, but only one of you has to buy the game, regardless, kind of turns us into a $15 experience per person. So really, for the price of, a somewhat expensive movie ticket, you and your friend can game it up pretty well, which is awesome. So, I love so many things about this game. This is another must-play, in my opinion, of this year. Definitely play through it, and it's short as well too. You can finish it in like 4 or 5 hours, something along those lines. It took us like 6 because of that driving portion. but yeah, we're done with that now. Now, the last game I ended up finishing in November was The Wolf Among Us. This is another Telltale game, obviously, and my girlfriend was wanting to know, like, hey, what other Telltale games haven't we played? And there's so many. Like, I don't think we're going to do Back to the Future, because I honestly didn't really rock with that one. The Sam Max games I haven't touched, even though I own them on Steam. I keep recommending to her, the 2 games I keep recommending, which we will play them eventually, but the 2 games I keep recommending to her are Until Dawn, which is not a Telltale game, but the other Telltale game I keep recommending is Batman. Batman is fantastic. I played through Batman last year. I love it. I want to play through it again because I played through it on Switch and I have it on PS4 as well because I got it on there before, and it would give me a very good excuse to play through it on PS4. So I'm trying to convince her to pick that next. We'll see. But we played through The Wolf Among Us, and I loved this game when I initially played it on 360. I still loved it playing through it on the Xbox One. This is one of her favorite games. It's based on the Fables series, which is a comic series I've never heard of before I played this game. But in short, just imagine like all of these fairy tales that you know of, like Snow White and the Seven Dwarves, Beauty and the Beast, the Tale of the Three Pigs, just things like that. Now imagine they all have to take human form, and they all have to live like in New York City, and it's all sorts of fucked up, and I love it so much. It's just like, there's prostitution in there, there's drug dealing, there's strippers, there's so much in there. It just takes all of these fables, that's what they're called, and just puts a dark spin on it, and I just love that. It's kind of like how people loved, American McGee's Alice, how it took a childish, well, I guess childish, it sounds derogatory, a story meant for children and put a completely dark spin on it. That's what I love about this. Highly recommend playing through this as well, too. Just, there's so many good Telltale games. But your engine sucks, alright? Your engine sucks. Maybe that's why they went out of business. Maybe I took it too far there. But the last game I end up finishing this year, at least while I'm recording this, in December, was Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. My goodness, I loved playing through this. Now, I don't think it's a perfect game by any means, but it's just so enjoyable. It's fun, it's cute. Yes, it is very hand-holdy. I think the only thing I really dislike about it, I mean, it's a very casual remake of Pokemon. And I like that. I do like it. I very much enjoyed it. I think the only thing I don't like is that your rival in here is so nice. He's just so nice, and he is so supportive of you, and he's your buddy. He's like, hey, you made it here too? Awesome! Do you want to try battling Pokemon? As opposed to being a complete dick, like in the original games. I think kids growing up in 2018 are too soft compared to kids that were playing the original releases. I don't know. But yeah, I think the only other thing I can say is this cover art is not good. Like, I don't know, I remember looking at the Eevee one, I thought it was better, but this looks like a child's winning contest entry. Like, it kind of looks like Nintendo put a contest across, like, a bunch of middle schools, and they picked one of the better ones. And I don't really mean that in a good way. It's just, the cover just really doesn't look that good. But the game is really fun, and I had so much fun playing through this game. My goodness. So, all in all, those are all the games I end up playing through. Now, I counted prior to this, and if my count is correct, I played through 21 games this year, which that is certainly more than I thought it would be. With this challenge imposed, I am supposed to beat at minimum 12 games, and there's a lot of games that I didn't play through. Like, for example, I started Spider-Man. I actually, like, just a few days prior to recording this video, I started playing through Spider-Man on the PS4. I think it's good so far, but I haven't played it enough to beat it. Red Dead Redemption 2, great game as well from what I've played so far, but haven't been able to finish that. One thing, this game actually kept me from playing Smash, because Smash Ultimate came out, and the Katamari game came out on Switch, and I wanted to play those, but I wanted to finish this one first. I wanted to finish this one first, so it was kind of funny. One side thing I'm going to put as well, as you all can see from here, like, I buy my games, I play my games sometimes, but I do buy my games. But for anyone who's a little ignorant on, like, the Switch modding scene and such, I'm not holding it, mind you, but I was playing through this when Smash Ultimate leaked out, and I had several people asking me, they're like, dude, why aren't you playing the Smash League? Why aren't you playing it? And I was like, I've gone on record, I've said several times, like, I'm not really interested in getting free games or pirated games. Like, if I get, like, one of these for free, cool, but, like, I know just that lore doesn't really get me, and also, I'm currently playing through this right now, so I don't really want to interrupt that flow. I'll play Smash when I'm done with this, and that's what I was telling people, but I just found that to be a little bit funny when now, now that the game is out, people have asked, hey, are you playing it? How to finish this one first, but when it leaked out, a lot of people were asking me about it. I'm like, dude, it wasn't like a front I was putting up, like, straight up, I don't download Switch games. Just don't do it. Anyways, that is this big pile of games here. Lily, here. These are all your games now. These are all your games. 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 Let me know what some of your favorite games that you've finished this year have been. Also, let me know, if you have a list of games that you've played. Let me know on that as well, too. Because I remember when I initially started doing this challenge, a lot of people were saying, like, wow, you beat so many games, that's awesome. While as I came in, I was like, oh, I didn't beat that many. But there's a lot of people I saw who they're like, yeah, I play a lot of games, but this video made me realize that I mostly play single player because I beat like 3 games this year, and you beat like 20-something. So yeah, if you have a list, I'd love to know your list and some of your favorite games, least favorite games, all that stuff. I'm not mentioning my favorite game out of all these, because one of these is my game of the year, and I don't want to say which one it is. But come back here right before the year is over, and I'm going to have my Game of the Year 2018 video. Anyways, this is Mr. Mario signing off. Thank you all for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, a like would absolutely be appreciated, and if you didn't like it, a dislike is fine as well, too.